who had their, out of all of the big names, big shows that have gone through, huge celebrities, huge athletes, who do you think was the most ass-kissed show host? Maybe they're even still there today.
You're talking about show hosts on the Fan.
Like everybody genuflected when they walked through the room. Like I used to go to Bible on Tuesday nights to get my communion, and the priest would come in and we'd all stand up. Like Father, I'm not going to say his name. Father is here. Stand up.
It's hard because Imus everybody was afraid of, and that was going on then. It happened with Mike all the time, multiple spots. In Astoria, when we moved, Mike and Mad Dog, Mike by himself. I think Boomer gets a lot of that. I don't remember seeing it with Craig. I'm sure it happened, but I wasn't around that. But any of those top guys, I saw it firsthand with Mike more than anybody else, but that's because I worked with him. But I know for a fact it was, I would say Imus, Mike, Boomer, in that order.
And who is the biggest doing the kissing of the ass?
Chernoff 1,000%, and all the salespeople. Well, that's just how he was. I mean, he's not a bad guy, and I like Mark, and he gave me an opportunity to come back there.
Oh.
They were just always afraid of him. I couldn't believe how they would let the talent just run roughshod over them.
I was going to say, didn't he make the rules? Like, why
Dude,
would he?
There would be sometimes dragged down, like just yelling. And I was always Team Mike because that's my guy. And it was also bucking authority. So I loved that Mike just, when we got hired on the show, to work behind the scenes with Mike, it was, all right, you're safe now. You're under my umbrella. You're fine. Like the bosses couldn't touch you because you're under Mike's umbrella. The problem with that is that the bosses didn't like you because they couldn't do anything to you because you were under. Dude, here's one story that will sum this shit up. And I think I told this before. Mike and Dog were in the midst of the breakup. Dog was leaving, but no, it was not official yet. And Mike was yelling at Chernoff behind the scenes about something. And I'm running the board at this point on Mike's show. Mike and the Mad Dog show, but Dog's off this day. And Mike's going, and if you don't, I want to know now, Cherney. I want to know now. That was like not abnormal to have him yell at Mark like that. But this was a big deal because it was about the Mike and Chris stuff. And Mike's walking past the control room door, which is open, which I'm in running the board, playing the commercials. He's going into the studio, yelling at Chernoff, saying, I need to know now. I'm going to go on the air, whatever, blah, 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 blah. I don't remember. He goes in. I'm about to come back from commercial break, and Chernoff comes in and goes, If Mike starts talking about Dog and says anything about it, you are to cut to commercial. You shut his mic off and cut to commercial. And if you tell him that I told you that, you're fired. So now imagine me as a young board op on the Mike and the Mad Dog show whose loyalty is clearly with Mike. A, I loved him before I ever set foot in there. B, like I'm on his show, working on his show. But my boss is telling me to shut Mike Francesa's mic off. Shut his mic off if he starts talking about Mike and the Mad Dog. Imagine that. Shut his mic off and go to commercial and don't tell him that I told you because if you do, you're fired. I mean, are you serious, dude? Now, luckily, Mike never talked about it, so I wasn't put in that spot, but you think I'm going to shut Francesa's mic off? And you think if I do, I'm going to tell him that it was my idea? Like, come on, man. So that was one maybe Mark wishes he had back, but that is a true story that happened during the height of the behind-the-scenes breakup with Mike and the Dog.
So sorry, I'll just say it's a play the drop. Yeah. Do you have a dog?
No, I mean, yeah, I do, but I'm not doing it. You got to retire your impressions.
I never will. I never will.
No, you can't do the fans. You got to let it go.
Oh, because it's fan related.
It's just Gio dominated that market, bro. Give it up.
If it's fan related, if that's why, I will retire the fan impressions. You were talking about Mike and Dog and all that. You mentioned you were a Mike guy, right? And I think this is known by people who are really into the lore of the fan. Who was the biggest Mike guy and who's the biggest Chris guy? Not ass kisser, but who are their favorites?
So who you want me to tell you who Mike's favorite is and who Chris's favorite is?
Well, because there's the Mike guys and there's the Dog guys.
I know, obviously. But I can't tell you. I can't tell you who their favorite is. That's a question.
What was public perception? What was public perception?
I could give you the list of who guys who I thought were Mike guys or guys who I thought were Chris guys.
Actually, say it again. Say here's the list so I can make this a clip. This is going to do numbers.
No, I don't want to make this a clip.
It's gonna be.
There were, from my time there, I'm trying to think of, like, Moose comes to mind as a dog guy. Chris Carlin, I felt like was kind of both, honestly. I thought he did a good job of balancing both. And usually the Mike and dog, like when you say, oh, he's a Mike guy, he's a dog guy, that was, I thought, for the people that worked on their show. Like Scazzeri was both, he loved them both, but they worked with Mike on the Sunday show, so maybe lean more Mike. I loved both those guys, loved them both, and they were both good to me. The reason why I would definitively say more Mike is because the relationship post Mike and the Mad Dog, like I barely talked to Dog. I could text him if I want, and I loved him. I once babysat his kids. He paid me to babysit his kids in an amusement park. He didn't want to go on the ride, so I was going on rides with him all day long.
You?
In Connecticut. He paid me to drive up from Long Island to Connecticut, spend the day. Dog,
Lake Compounds?
me. Yes. Yeah. Yes, that's exactly it. Lake Compounds. Never been before, haven't been since.
You went on the Boulder Dash?
This was 2007. I don't remember. But little Timmy or Colin, I don't even know. Now,
Timmy. Sorry.
Yeah, now they're Timmy's coaching basketball, Colin's doing radio shows. But yeah, Uncle Sal took them on some rides at Lake Compound. Daughter Kira was there as well, but she was way too young, I think. So anyway, Dog had the 3 kids and he needed help. So he paid me, his then board op, to go up there and babysit with the kids for a day. It was great.
Were you a cool uncle? Fun uncle? You let him drink soda?
Dude, I wish I remember more about that day. I don't remember everything about it. I was probably just excited about the paycheck and excited to be hanging out with one of my idols. I mean, you go from working at Home Depot, listening to the fan and calling the fan saying, I can't wait to be a part of that. I will do anything to be a part of that, to sitting in Chris Russo's car, driving to Lake Compound with his 3 kids, getting ready to go on rides with the kids. Like you can't even fathom that. Or the relationship that I've had with Mike, going on private planes to the Super Bowl and back with Dog, going nuts flying. He was not a good flyer, smashing his wedding ring against the side table, going to Port St. Lucie on Mike's private plane. Like the experience that I had with these guys, sometimes I say it just to like reiterate, I still can't even believe that it happened because I was the biggest Mike and the Mad Dog fan. And then I became a part of the fan in their show, which is just freaking wild. But yeah, there's not like a clear, this was a Mike guy, this was a Dog guy. Most people love them both. Sometimes to do yourself favors, you had to kind of side with one versus the other. But I would not say that there was like a clear line of a list of names that I'm going to give you, Badabooms, that you'd be like, oh, wow, that's great. This guy's a Mike guy or that guy's a Dog guy. There wasn't. I couldn't. If there was, I was not in tune to tell you all that.
So
Moose, Carlin, myself, like Eddie Erickson was.
What about G?
More Mike? Huh?
Gio.
Oh, Gio was a Dog guy, but again, Gio didn't work on the show. Gio was definitely a Dog guy. He worked on Saturday morning show producing for Dog. And even if it were just in the newsroom before, I'm pretty sure it was more Dog. I think Gio would say he's a Dog guy, but I'm thinking the people who actually worked on the show.
What I always really found fascinating about the fan is kind of how they have like draft classes almost, where it's like, and you'll see what I'm saying in a second here. It's like you talk about the Gio, McMonagle's part of it. McMonagle's draft class is more of like the Lugauer, Marash, Damon Amendola draft class, where yours is like Eddie Erickson, Moose. Gio, Moose.
Colin. Yeah, I guess those guys are a little bit before. Yeah, the guys that you mentioned first came after.
Yes.
Like I was an intern in 2003. I think Gio was shortly after that. Moose was before us, but still like similar time frame. Carlin was before that, but still similar time frame. Yeah, I mean, there's different generations or different time frame. Marash, I don't remember Marash as an intern at the fan. He might have come there. I know he was doing the network stuff with DA. I don't remember DA. Hey, me, Sal here. Weird interrupting my own podcast, but I'm going to do it because it's a very special reason. We have Mets Yankees Subway Series tickets to give away, courtesy of Sachdev Family Orthodontics in Rockland. Right now, we have 2 tickets, 1 pair of tickets. Mets Yanks field level tickets. It's the first Subway Series matchup of 2026 out at Citi Field. We'll be giving them away once we get to 10,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. We're at about 6 right now as we record this. So we're getting there. Ways to go. Games in May. If we don't get there, I guess just Badabooms and I will go. But anyway, a pair of tickets, Mets, Yankees, Subway Series, Friday night, Citi Field, first game of the year between the Mets and the Yankees for 2026. We have a pair to give away once we get to the 10,000 subscribers. Okay, now you can go back to listening. Enjoy the rest of the show. We really appreciate you guys taking the time to check us out. I remember DA doing some fill-in shows on the fan before I left the first time. Before I got fired the first time.
We're gonna get that. Don't worry. Don't blow the load.
How long is this thing gonna go here? Anyway, yeah, Loogie I remember a little bit as an intern and a younger up-and-comer. McMonagle I definitely remember. McMonagle, in part, got in because of a trip that Moose, me, and Brian Monzo took to Vegas.
Monzo. I forgot about Monzo, too.
Yeah, me, Monzo, Moose went to Vegas. I don't know if that was the trip that Gio was on or not. Once we went, me, Moose, Monzo, and Gio. But another time, it might have been me, Moose, and Monzo. I forget if Gio was there on the McMonagle trip. Anyway, we ran into Chris McMonagle at Pure Nightclub or something like that. He was a big fan. He recognized Moose, and he was there with his friends. And somehow that turned into an internship. And somehow that turned into Afternoon Drive with Carton.
Yeah, who did they replace?
No, I love C-Mac. Him and I have had great moments over the years together as friends, like not just on the air stuff. Matter of fact, most of it off the air because we were never, he was behind the scenes and I wasn't there for a while after that. He took over as board op on Mike's show. So he would be a Mike guy. I don't even know if he worked with Dog, but anyway.